Hello and welcome back to TCBC Ride Leader Training and working with the RideStats software. In the previous videos, we talked about entering an event in RideStats and then entering a ride based off of the event that you had created. In this video, we'll talk about entering the completed ride details after your ride has finished. Within the RideStats software, you can see that I am logged in and sitting on the home page. One of the nice things you'll find in RideStats is that at the bottom of every screen, you'll typically find some quick access buttons so that you don't have to dig through the navigational menus, although you can certainly do that as well. But in this case, you can see Enter Ride Results is front and center, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this will bring us into a querying page where we can look up our ride that we're going to enter the results on. The easiest way to use this screen is that you're the ride leader, you knew what day the ride went on. I typically just do a very quick search by the date of my ride. Click on search, and you can see that my Monday evening's ride to Stillwater is ready to go. It's sitting in a scheduled stage, and then I have an actions button. The two actions here that I want to draw your attention to is the report and cancel. If I click on cancel, that would cancel the ride because the ride did not complete. And in Minnesota, in most cases, the reason that this is going to occur is because of bad weather. So I can go ahead and choose a reason of canceled due to the weather, say yes, and at that point, my ride's finished, it's officially canceled, and nothing more needs to be done. But in this case, I actually have riders to enter. The ride went off as planned. So I'll go and choose Report. This brings you into the Ride Entry Completed Rides wizard. You can see that there's a variety, or there's 4 main tabs that you're going to work through, and there will be a next, and as we move forward, a back button so that we can move easily between the tabs if we need to update or change any information. In our ride details, everything is brought in from our ride, and the default distance is left here for us to enter. The default distance when entering the completed ride should typically be the distance that the majority of the riders on your ride rode. So if you had a variety of distances, or maybe just a short route and a long route, maybe 30 miles and 45 miles, if most of the people did 30, leave that as your default distance, because as we start entering members, that will be the default number that it gives them. And then when you're ready to add the people who are 45, we can change it to 45 on the next screen and enter all of those people as well. It just makes things go faster. So I'm going to go ahead and say next. And the next screen is where we'll start entering the members who participated in the ride. This search screen is just like what we did for entering ride leaders in when we were creating our event. So we can search by their member number and add them. We can type in their last name to find them and add them. Or we can do a combination of the first name and last name to find them as well. The ride leader was added by default. So once all the members who participated in the ride have been entered, I can go ahead, say next, and actually before I do that, just to show, you can see that the default distance here was the 30. So if I had other people who possibly did a longer route, I can now change that to 45, start typing in other people who may have been on the ride, and click on add. And you can see that their mileage is updated for 45, and the next people that I'll add after that will have 45 as well. But since he was not on my ride, I can simply click on the trash can and he is no longer there. The next screen will allow us to enter the guests. And we're going to pause for just a moment on this because right now for TCBC, we are not recommending that you enter the guest information. The reason behind this is that phone numbers and emails of the guests are required, and you may not have that information, and we would prefer that you did not enter bad information just to be able to complete this screen than just keeping the information on your ride sheets. As we talked about in previous videos, your ride sheet is the master record of the ride. And if any insurance claims or something needed to be looked at, that ride sheet is going to be the master record. So please hang on to that. And we may update this at some point down the road, but at this point, we're asking that you don't enter any guests. So at this point, I'll click on Next. And I'm now at my finish screen. It's going to give me a recap of what I've entered for my members. In this case, we're not entering guests. I can click on Submit Ride. And at this point, my ride has now been submitted. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the roads.